Hey Gooners, this is Alan Smith.
This is Kevin Campbell.
Lee Dixon.
Colin Lewin.
It's Gary Lewin.
Charles Watts.
Dan Potts.
James Benge.
Danny.
Tom from the Gooner Talk here.
It's Ryan Rocastle.
Simon Collins. You may know me from the Evening Standard.
You may know me for my time at Arsenal.
You may know me from Arsenal or even the hybrid squad.
I'm a Birdcat Wonderland.
Being that physio, sat on the bench next to Arsenal with my rubber gloves on.
The former Arsenal physio.
The Emirates press box, from writing, from Twitter.
From goal.com, from Twitter, from YouTube.
Football is the beautiful game and it brings us all together.
Sometimes there are things even more important than wins and losses.
And yes, even transfers.
Every 30 seconds, someone in this world gets diagnosed with blood cancer.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society works towards curing blood cancers
and provides support to families currently dealing with these diseases.
Gooners vs Cancer was started in 2017
by a lifelong Gooner who lost his father to leukemia way too young.
Since 2017, Gunners v Cancer has raised
over $75,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
And we need your help to keep the fundraising going in this year's campaign.
Every donation helps.
Every donation helps.
Every donation helps.
Every donation helps.
No matter the size.
And every donation enters you into the Gooner raffle,
where you have a great chance to win amazing Arsenal prizes,
including game tickets, stadium tours,
signed men and women's shirts,
and maybe a retro signed shirt by yours truly, Lee Dixon.
Me, yours truly.
Yours truly, Super Kev Campbell.
So much more.
It's easy to take part.
Just go to www.goonersvcancer.com
and donate directly to the charity.
Pick the raffle prizes you want to enter to win,
and wait for the drawings at the end of the campaign.
Again, that's www.goonersversuscancer.com.
We all know that victory grows out of harmony.
Victory grows out of harmony.
Victory grows out of harmony.
With your help, we'll be victorious against blood cancer once and for all.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thanks for your support.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you for your support.
All right. Here we are, hour number 7. And I just realized I've left my office door open. So give me just a second while I close that, because
just would not be one of our podcasts without this.
No,
it's amazing. It's amazing how quickly you become unprofessional. But that just says a lot about Ryan, doesn't it? I love you, Ryan.
Ryan, it's been too long. I mean, we're coming back over in October. We gotta do the Tollington again. We gotta see each other again. I miss you.
Yeah, that would be nice. That would be nice. And yeah, I haven't been on the podcast for a long time. I know you're not doing them as much now, but
there's a good reason you should stay far away. Far away.
Aston's been picking up my slack a lot over the last few months, and I'm just and here I am doing a year's worth of podcasts in one day. So you probably won't see me again for a few months. But
do you mind if I take up a topic, Mike? With everybody,
I do want to say that we actually have a concept for this hour. It's a show, a game that we're playing, and so,
this isn't the game you made me play in your Highbury apartment.
No, it's not Hide the Salami or whatever.
No,
it's no. This is an Arsenal related game that we're going to play. And by the way, Barry brings up something that I did notice earlier today, which is that the hour number 7 is a great one for Ryan to be on. I did notice that, and that's a very good point. So, but go ahead, Owen. I don't want to squash you, but can we make it quick so that we can get into the game?
No, it's good. Let's go ahead. I was actually supposed to bring it up with Akil. It was more about the ticketing issues and stuff like that there, but we can let's see how we get on with this game, and if with any time left, I'm sure we can dive into that.
Okay, so what we're going to do here, and unfortunately I don't have the capability really while we're doing all this to display it on the screen, but we're gonna pick our top 11. We're going to do a bit of a draft here. So it's not quite football-y in the sense that there's a draft, but we're going to randomly determine an order of picking, and then we're going to go through the 11 positions on the pitch and manager and pick the player that you want to be on your team, and only one of us can pick the same player. So, for example, if I've got the first pick, Aston second, Ryan, and then Owen, and we're doing the goalie, I get my first pick of the goalkeeper. then Aston will go and won't be able to pick the same person that I have. And the universe of Arsenal players are people who have played for the Arsenal since 1986. So basically anyone who played under George Graham or after. There are some great Arsenal players. Liam Brady isn't eligible for this. Pat Rice isn't going to be eligible for this. Ted Drake isn't going to be eligible for this. But we had to kind of keep it to a certain period of time. And then at the end of the draft, we're going to put the 11s into the chat and let the chat vote for who they think has the best 11. And what you win when you win this is absolutely nothing but pride.
Ryan's got to get first pick, right? Because Ryan's the guest.
Well, I was going to do that.
No,
first
that's
pick,
not fair at all.
Owen's like, no competition.
Does not necessarily assure you because on the next position you'll have the second pick, and then the next position you'll have the third pick. So it's not that we don't go through 1 through 4 in the same order. We're going to rotate. So it'll be 1 through 4, then it'll be 2, 3, 4, 1, then it'll be 3, 4, 1, 2, and so on and so forth. Now here are some rules. It's a 4-4-2 situation. On the back four, it is going to be a left back, center backs, regardless of whether they play right or left back, center back, and then right full back. For the midfields, we're going to have 2 center midfields, whether they're the 8 or the 6, doesn't matter. You can use them interchangeably, and 2 wingers / left-sided midfielders or right-sided midfielders. But don't worry about the left versus the right. And then 2 strikers, of equal positioning, and then of course the manager. So we're going to start off picking the order. The random number, I have a random number generator that's going to pick numbers. So Ryan's draft position is going to be 3. Owen's draft position is going to be 4.
Vex.
Aston's draft position is going to be 1.
I tried to give it to Ryan. Don't look at me.
I appreciate that, man.
Well, you could trade that. You could trade him your position plus.
That's already too American, man. There's too much going on. I can't keep up.
And I am number 2. I had to do this like they do in the Europa League draft, where there's one team left, or there's one team left, but they got to pull the stupid thing out anyway. All right. So for the first position is goalkeeper, and the first pick is Aston. So Aston, your pick from the whole litter of goalkeepers, starting with John Lukic and going after that. Who are you going to take?
Seaman's kind of the obvious choice. I actually really rate Ramsdale because he's a different type of goalkeeper, but this is a best 11, and we're almost never talking about like full playing chemistry. So I'm just going to go Seaman.
I want to say that's what she said so bad right now, but
you can.
No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to say it.
No one would. You would not lower the bar any lower on this show by saying.
No, I'm not going to say that because we are a professional podcast. All right, so next is me. Thinking about David Raya, but I am going to go with.
Guy hasn't even played for Arsenal yet.
I know. I'm going to go with Lehman. All right, so Ryan, you are next.
Oh, those were the 2.
There is kind of a gap between those 2 and everybody else.
Yeah, and I do kind of want to try and pick players that I've seen play. I know.
Well, then I know who you're going. Well,
no, I know John Lukic was. I remember people around who played with him. They really rate him, but I didn't really see him. So, I'm gonna go Ramsdale because. I'm just thinking, like, between 2005, after Jens, there was no one really made it.
Chesney
had a couple of good, but like, I think, to be honest with you, Mike, Ramsdale's 20, not last season, but the one before, that was as good a season really as any Arsenal goalkeeper since Jens Lehmann, I think. So I'm going to go with Ramsdale.
It was special, and because the ultimate winner is determined by a vote of the chat. I mean, Ramsdale's so beloved right now. I think you might have scored points with that. So,
hey Ryan, do you think that Arteta is going to stick with Ramsdale, or do you think the Raya thing's going to change things up real soon?
this one, I think I originally thought that Arteta brought Raya in to Arsenal because he thinks the best way to motivate Ramsdale is by giving him such a good competition, whereas that he almost can't mess up, if you know what I mean. But just lately, my mind's been changing a little bit, and maybe Ramsdale might Raya. I think if Raya gets an opportunity and does well, I think he could, even like in a cup, for example, and did really well in that game. I could see him then going in for the league. That's what I'm going to predict.
Perfect. And then the fourth keeper, and the way I've mapped this out, we've got about 40 minutes to do this, 45 minutes to do that, and 12 positions. So we got to knock each position out in like 2.5 minutes. So
yeah,
this is really an hour and a half game. I should have thought about that.
Yeah, this game sucks when you're fourth. Matt Ryan, no, I'm just joking. Look, he hasn't kicked a ball yet, but you have left me with very little choice. I like Lukic, but nah, I'm gonna have to just go David Raya.
Are you serious?
I'm serious on ability. Yeah, on ability alone.
Let me clarify, and you can change it if you want to. I'd like to think that this will be based on their career at Arsenal, not just their quality as a footballer, but their career at Arsenal. So I don't think you're going to want to say Raya.
I sort of do want to, but
Chesney won us a cup.
He is literally never allowed
disrespect.
Wojciech Chesney wasn't as good at Arsenal as he was when he went to Leeds. He just wasn't. Same with Fabianski as well. Go Lukic.
Yeah. Lukic is the right answer, but
so
Raya,
Owen, pick whoever you want, but don't pick that guy.
All right, so we're gonna go with a left fullback now, and the first pick is number 2, so that's me. And I'm, as much as I hate to, I'm gonna go with Ashley Cole. I don't really want to, but I kind of have to. So Ashley Cole for me. Next pick is Ryan.
Again, you picked my one.
What happened to reputation with Arsenal? And
I mean, his career with Arsenal was pretty damn good.
Yeah, I don't think you could argue against Ashley Cole in football ability wise. He for me, he's the best left back that's played in the Premier League. Oh, Akil, I've just seen it. Martinez, he's not a bad shout. For left back, again, just sticking again with what I know a bit more than others. I'm going to go for very good servant. Maybe not a top player, but very good servant in Monreal.
Yes.
Yes.
That's a good shout, you know.
I think he had a good Arsenal career and big games. I thought he played really well in definitely that. I think it was the 2017 final.
Not just a good pick. I'm really surprised.
He's one of the most consistent left backs, like players that we've ever had. Like, I mean, he was never like a 10, but he was always like an 8 every game.
No, but how much did we sign him for? What, 7 million pounds?
It was a great pickup. Did he pull us out of the Andre Santos era?
I try to erase that from my memory.
That alone, I think that's good.
But we brought him on deadline day.
We did.
Sure, we brought him quite late on deadline day, quite unexpectedly.
Malaga, I think.
Yeah.
All right. So you've given Owen a gift here in the sense that someone's dropped into his lap, in my opinion. But go ahead, Owen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Well, it's tough career wise. I'm gonna go for Nigel.
There he is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Football and ability, I would maybe say Zinchenko in terms of ability, sole ability of the player, but for career, Nigel Winterburn.
All right, and then Aston, you're left back with what's left over.
That leaves me with Zinchenko. Zinchenko, honestly, and it's really weird to say, there are things that he can add to his game to make him a much better player, but technically, he might actually be like one of the best players we've ever signed, like technical ability alone. Again, other parts of his game, defensive ability, whatever, fitness, that's all maybe not there. But technically, have you seen him? Like, have you seen those clips of him like running and juggling the ball? It's insane.
I've seen clips of Ramsdale juggling the ball too. All right, center backs. There's 2 center backs, again, interchangeably. So anyone who routinely and for the majority of his career plays center back or played center back. We start with Ryan for the first one, and we're going to start with Owen on the other one. But Ryan, you go first.
Oh. Right, I'm gonna pick Tony Adams.
Oof.
I'm gonna pick him because he was still there for a little bit of when I was still watching as well. Leader, incredible. The way he read the game, so good. Just a real top player. He didn't have much pace, but it was like he didn't really need it. Maybe be interesting to see him like now in the modern day game, like how good he would be. I still think he would overcome the lack of pace, but it would be interesting. But yeah, Tony Adams for sure.
Okay, Owen.
Sol Campbell for me, just a mammoth defender.
Yeah, those are good calls. The next pick is Aston. I'm going to have a weak central defense with my picking order here.
God.
I'm going to end up with some Stoppy.
Oh man, I want to say. Actually, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go all new boys. It's gonna be Saliba for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of potential involved in that, but again, the judges will judge it based on their own criteria. I'm just making sure that we don't include what they did for other clubs. So if you're trying to get some of that Nice and Saint Etienne rub on Saliba, you're going to have to think again. I'm going to go with. I've got to go with this. My first one will be Steve Bold. Sorry, no, I'm going to go with David O'Leary. David O'Leary. All right, next pick is Owens.
Oh,
another center back.
I'm gonna go Kolo Toure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Also known as
Kolo
Francois.
Oh yeah. Francois.
All right, Aston, your second center back. I mean, we're going with current people, so should I assume it's going to be either Gabriel or Holding?
No, it's going to be Koscielny because I don't want him off of this list. I loved Koscielny.
Okay. All right. I go next, and I'm pleased that Stevie Bold is still available to me, so I will take him. And with the 8th, what we consider, I guess, to be the 8th best center back to play in the modern era for Arsenal, Ryan?
I was actually going to go for Koscielny just because I think, especially up until about 2017, I think the way he left, with the whole shirt thing, it maybe soured some people. But before that, when we didn't have a great defense, he was really good. But as he's been taken, Gabriel's been here for 3 seasons now, and he's been very good for all 3 seasons. Well, especially the last 2 seasons. So yeah, Gabriel gets in there for me.
Fantastic. Not picked includes
Keown.
Martin Keown, Per Mertesacker.
Yeah.
Some pretty good ones. Johan Juru, as someone pointed out, Mustafi. All right, so then now we go to the right back, and we're back to our original order for the right back. So Aston,
I never got a first pick, did I? Oh, I did, yeah. Sorry. Crap.
You literally just did.
Crap.
Right back, man. Lauren's right there. I really like Ben White though. Like, God, he's such a good player. There's so many attributes to Ben White. But I think it's going to be Sanya.
Holy
That's
shit.
what I'm going to land on.
All right, I'm grabbing Lee Dixon before he goes anywhere else. Lee Dixon with the number 2. Ryan, you get the next pick.
Lauren.
Yeah.
Lauren has to be in. Really good player for the Invincibles.
In case you're having trouble,
None of you to pick Lauren.
And in case you're having trouble thinking of another right back, we've got Bellerin available, we've got Cedric available, we've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles.
Give me Ben White.
All right. Not selected, Viv Anderson.
But do you know what? Bellerin before the injury, and I know people, but Bellerin before the injury was a really top. People forget that he had that injury. Like
the Bayern Munich game is the one everyone's going to think about, right? You remember that?
Just in that 15, 16 or 14, 15, he was such a top young. We were scared that was the next one Man City was going to take.
15, 16 was an unbelievable year, to the point where in our first season of podcasting, Andy and I discussed his value. And I said, and this was 7 years ago, I said this before money actually was, I said he was a 70 million pound player. Boy, was I mean, that was one of the many things I've been extremely wrong about in my podcasting career. All right. So now we're going to go to a winger. Technically the left wing, but it can be a left or right winger. We're just going to lump all the wingers together, or like left or right-sided midfielders. So actually, no, we're going to start with the right midfielder. So the first pick is me. Otherwise, we would have had two consecutive ones with Aston. All right, so the right midfielder. See, there's someone I'm thinking about who could fit into two different positions. But
Nicolas Pepe.
I'm gonna. If I select him, if I'm lucky enough to select him, I will select him in the position he was best known for playing. So I am going to take as a winger. I mean, there's so many, and I'm probably going to get killed for my recency bias here, but I'm going to take Bukayo Saka.
Good one.
I mean, there's some finished products that had a whole career, and I'm overloading them. But the next is Ryan.
Is it right wing? Yeah.
Right wing or yeah.
Okay, I stick with my. I'm gonna.
You can actually choose a left or right wing. We just put both the wings together.
Oh, you phoned me there because
not a central midfielder, but like a wing. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a big group to choose from.
Oh, okay. If it's left wing, I'll pick Perez based on what I've been going before. Because for me, he was when I started watching Arsenal. Him and Thierry, I just couldn't believe how good they were, and that's when I kind of started watching 2001 too. I loved him so much. Perez. I'll go.
Don't you feel that, like, because everyone always talks about the Invincibles, and inevitably Thierry and Bergkamp always come up, and don't get me wrong, incredible players, but I feel like Perez is in that orbit, and he just doesn't get brought up enough. Like, literally one of the best players I think the Premier League's ever seen.
Agreed. Agree with you, Aston.
Right, Owen. And I know I confuse things with the right and the left. I'm looking at a sheet right here, and
can it be either wing?
Yeah, it can be either wing, but definitely like not a striker, not a center midfielder.
Okay, I'm gonna go for left wing Alexis Sanchez.
Okay, that's definitely. Yeah. I mean, again, we're not talking about the way that the career ended. We're just talking about the impact here. So, all right, Alexis Sanchez and Aston, your winger.
It's not Theo Walcott. Jeez. I'm gonna go. Do I want? I'm thinking of two, and I'm gonna go for the Bant. So I'm gonna go for it. Let's go Arshavin.
Oh, all right.
All
right. Now we're gonna go to the other side. Or no, actually, we're gonna go to center midfielder. Center midfielder. The first pick goes to Ryan.
Oh, it's Vieira for me. It's Vieira because the best for me, the best big claim, but the best centre midfielder in the Premier. I think if he,
he's had some good substitution experience. Some substitute experience recently.
Yeah, I don't know. Fabio. Yeah, no, I think. Do you know what? Me and my friend were talking about this the other day. Like, if he existed now, just people would be like someone who can tackle, pass, so strong, dribble, scored goal. Like he did I see some comps that people put on Twitter and stuff, and then there's a comp for Vieira. It's just insane. Like, I think, I have to go with him, and the leadership as well.
Yeah.
Right. Owen, you're next.
I feel like I'm choosing a team of snakes. I'm gonna go for Cesc.
Nice. All right. Aston.
Aaron Ramsey. There was only
that. I cannot believe this man fell to me. Ryan, who am I going to pick?
Gilberto Silva.
No. Ryan, who am I going to pick?
As for centre mid?
Yes, but I would have played him further out, wide.
Well, he played both. He played both positions.
Yeah,
but,
I was thinking that he was most think of as right wing.
Yeah, that's where I would put him.
Yeah,
I debated over those two things, and I actually went to a couple of online resources to see if there was any consensus of the general position. And obviously, I mean, I would take whatever you tell me as the consensus, but it basically said he was best known as being, a
midfielder,
a central or like an advanced midfielder.
Okay, interesting.
And if he were available for right wing, I would have taken him. But
yeah,
am I allowed to take someone's dad on here? like is that rude?
I don't know. I think by the bylaws, he gets your mom now.
Oh my god!
by my rule, I couldn't take him anyway. So I said,
Ryan's like, that's a very nice offer, but I'm gonna have to decline.
Yeah,
I picked players that I saw. So
yeah. Well, I'm taking him and running because I didn't think he'd fall to fourth. All right, Owen, you get your next pick.
Is this
another center mid?
Center mid. Santi Cazorla.
All right.
Not a lot of strength and defense in that midfield, but a lot of ball player.
Aston. And I know who you're about to say. No, and he's only played 4 games for Arsenal, so I'm not sure I would recommend it. But
Francis
I wasn't going to say Declan Rice. No.
All right.
That's like really weird. I actually center mid. I think I actually go with Silva. Yeah.
Gilberto?
Yeah.
All right.
Listen, I love Ramsey, but he likes to go forward. Okay, he really likes to go forward. I need somebody to clean.
You're thinking about the balance of you're going next level. You're doing 4D chess right here.
Yeah, this team's gonna win. Okay.
All right.
Manager me.
Oh, gets tough here on the top 6. I think pretty much pick themselves. I'll go with Ray Parlour. Ray Parlour for sure. All right, and then Ryan.
Wow.
You could pick the manager currently. You could pick the director of personnel currently.
The under 18s manager.
You could pick Tim Lewis.
Oh man,
Viani's available
on his day was brilliant.
By the way, the tiebreaker will be the club executives.
Listen, Coquelin is right there. Coquelin and Danielson right there.
And Diaby.
And Diaby. Oh God.
Kim Kallstrom.
Diaby was good though. Oh, that's sad. Now I'm sad, Mike.
He was. All right, Ryan. Sorry.
Haleb.
He was good, but does I have to do center? I can't do right mid, can I?
This has to be a center mid, and then we go into another winger.
Okay. I'm gonna say because Jim Howson just said as well, Xhaka ? And I was kind of on an arm, but when I think about what he did compared to some others who I was kind of thinking about, I actually think Granit did more I've seen. I've seen. I'm sticking to this thing where I kind of feel like I have to have seen them play, right? So
Right.
And then how he ended it, I think like the Xhaka story is one that it can't get lost when you think like what happened in 2019 to what happened a couple of months ago at Wolves when at the end of that can't get that should be told at all academies really, like how you can turn your career around. So yeah, I'll go with that.
That midfield would kick the shit out of everybody.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic. And on my short list that didn't get picked, Mickey Thomas, Arteta, Petit, Wilshere, Paul Davis.
I really hope Mickey is not like tuned in because he will kill me for not picking him. But yeah.
All right. Okay, so now we're going back to like the winger or the midfielders that aren't center midfielders. The first pick is Aston.
It's got to be Gervinho. I'm kidding. I am kidding. Do not
Lock
put
that
Gervinho
in.
on that sheet.
First answer only.
God. I think it's Ljungberg. Yeah, Ljungberg's the one that's
I think Freddie's a pretty good choice.
Yeah.
All right.
Got to.
I'm next, and I am going to take Paul Merson. All right. Ryan.
I'm looking in the comments here
for inspiration.
Do you know what? It's one of those weird ones that I feel like we've had like some like top players, like really top players, but like the ones just below, not really like flying out at me. If you know. Do you know what? I'll go for Nasri. If we're not doing the whole leaving thing, because
would you wait? Question for you. Rosicky or Nasri?
Do you know what? I'm going by who I think had outstanding seasons, at least one outstanding. I think
that's true.
Was really like a decent player, but the 10-11 Nasri, especially that first 4 months. I mean, do you remember those goals against Fulham?
Yeah,
he was amazing.
8 goals. That goal against Porto was brilliant, where he just went
dancing through him. Yeah,
danced through a few people. Like he really stepped up that year. So I'll give him. I'll go for Sam here.
All right, and Owen to finish this off.
Yeah, I'm sort of stuck for options here. Much like Ryan, there's decent players, but not fantastic ones.
And great job by the chat, by the way, throwing people out there. Unlike the game that we were just playing, this is helpful. Oh, I've got Rocky already. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't you worry, Sean.
It's off the board. I'm gonna go for Gabriel Martinelli. I know it's on the opposite side.
All right. Well, no, it's the side that
he's a winger.
Yep. All right. So now we're going to go to strikers. We've got 2 different strikers. Our order here. I get to start with one of them, and no, Aston, I'm not going to pick what you would say.
For all the stuff that you talk about him, he's so good. Why isn't he in your list? Why isn't he your first pick?
I get the first and the 8th pick, so I might be able to get him on my 8th pick, but well, I mean, are we considering Bergkamp a striker?
I mean, you have to because he can't
is
anywhere else.
So I mean, I have a tough choice, but I'm going to go with Thierry. So Ryan, should we just set you up with Dennis, or?
Yeah, no need to really say much. It's unbelievable player.
All right, and Owen.
Fuck you, Owen.
Right, Ian Wright.
All right, and Aston.
Robin van Persie.
Okay, and then the next striker, the first pick is Ryan.
I'm gonna.
It can also be a 10 if you think about it.
No, I'm gonna.
There's no 10 in a 4-4-2. That's the only reason Ozil didn't get picked.
Sorry, I'm reading the comments. Do you know?
Shamak.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna, on the very last pick, I'm gonna break my usual rule about the not seeing, and I'm gonna go for Alan Smith.
Oh, damn!
And I'm gonna do it because
fuck you, Ryan.
I actually said to him, I said, for me, you're the most underrated player ever for Arsenal. When you think of, I think he won 2 golden boots whilst he was at the club. In the most important game, he got an assist and a goal at Anfield 1989. Like, didn't take penalties and still scored so many goals. And it just, I don't know why, but I feel like he doesn't get the credit that he should do.
No, but because he doesn't put himself out there for it. He's the most humble guy that, I mean, Alan Smith is the man that made me fall in love with Arsenal.
Yeah.
Your dad was the man that made me fall in love with football. And not necessarily in the same order, because Smudge was scoring goals right in front of us in the North Bank. I mean, it's just unbelievable how good he was.
No. And so we were at an event like a year ago or something. I can't remember what it was. And someone went up to him and said, like, why do you hate Arsenal? Commentary. And we were like, he's such a nice guy. He didn't say anything, but we were like, if you guys know, he loves Arsenal so much.
We talked about that before with him, and he's just like, maybe I go a little bit overboard in trying to not be so biased like some of these other guys.
That's right. He's just professional. Sorry, I just seen on the chat as well. The man killed off Palmer as well. Which
people say the same thing about Lee Dixon. Just because our former players that are way up in the punditry game, are actually ethical and call it down the middle rather than homers like Gary Neville and I mean the rest of them. Doesn't mean you should say that they hate Arsenal. Come on.
No,
all right. So
sure.
great. You just got Bergkamp and Alan Smith on your team.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
Owen.
I certainly wasn't going to pick Alan Smith. That's knocked me for 6. There's a certain level of sentimentality of this because this might show off the age gap between myself and you. While Alan Smith was who made you fall in love with Arsenal, mine was a very obscure one, which was Jose Antonio Reyes. I absolutely loved Reyes. So I'll put him down as my second pick.
Okay. Aston?
So I pick Thierry Henry after he comes back.
Oh, you're picking Leeds. You're picking Thierry Henry against Leeds, whereas I got the other one.
Yeah, is that how that works? You've got the better Leeds game, but I also have a Leeds game that we won. It's really hard because I kind of want to pick a 10. I kind of actually, and I know everyone would hate me if I picked Ozil for this, but I think the answer has to be Aubameyang because I don't think you're allowed to have Thierry Henry and Aubameyang. Like, that's too many goals.
Yeah, but which Aubameyang?
Like, I thought we were all taking prime. I thought we were taking height.
To be fair, Aubameyang, what, two seasons with 20 plus goals? I mean,
yeah, like he was nuts. He was the.
We would love that now,
right? More games than Thierry.
That's an absolute banger of a recommendation in the chat with Kanu as well.
Ooh, Kanu. Ooh.
Oh man, now I got to think about it. Nah, I'm gonna do it. This may be what sinks my team in the court of public opinion, but I'm taking Olivier Giroud. Come on,
come on.
He most handsome player ever to play for Arsenal.
Wasn't his fault that he was beautiful.
The goals he scored were special, and if you just take out that 200 game stretch where he didn't score anything in a row, he was unbelievable. All right, we got to do the manager. Then I'm going to need you guys to just chat for a second while I put these all in the chat. But manager, the first pick of manager, Owen.
Oh yes.
Do not underestimate manager in your votes, by the way. Chat room.
Yeah, Wenger.
Oh, that's not fair.
All right, Aston.
What am I gonna do? Pick like Unai? Like, come on.
Freddie.
I'm gonna.
Freddie's already been picked. You can't pick him again.
Listen, you have the player version. I want the manager version. We established.
Well, that would apply to somebody else then as well. But no, we're not doing that. Manager.
Nah, I mean, I could take Graham, but I'm going to take Arteta because I back my boy. There's nobody better than Mikel Arteta. He's the best little Spaniard I know.
All right, well, I've got to take George Graham, and that leaves an interesting pick for Ryan. Stuart Houston, anyone?
Wow.
Sorry, mate. I mean, this is one area where originally when we were doing this game, I was thinking there were going to be three of us, and I'm like, okay, well, that'll be good because it'll be kind of like the age-old debate. But now I'm like, well, who's going to get the fourth? Look, it's the randomizer.
Your choices are Unai Emery, or remember the time that Arteta was sick with COVID and
Albert Stuyvenberg.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
you know what?
We didn't win that game, but we looked really good against City.
Luckily, I broke my rule before on Smudge, so
you know what? And, this is dumb, but I swear I put it. I'll even show it to you on my notes. I meant to say that for the managers, we were releasing the 1986 rule. I swear I meant to say that. Now, does anyone that's picked want to pick someone else from before?
Go for it.
Okay, because it being brought up in the chat, we had a rule that this was all from 1986 or later. But for the managers, I wasn't. So
okay,
yeah.
no, that's great because I was thinking Herbert Chapman, and then I thought I can't use him. It really was going to be Unai.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, who else would you really have had to choose? It's pretty much Rioch or. Okay, so there we go. Where's Riyadh? So all right, so I'm going to type these in, and then we're going to have a quick vote, and then we're going to give away a prize. And so I hope the three of you can possibly find something to talk about while I do this.
No, well, I was actually going to say on a serious, I think if we had won a league between 2014 to 2017, I think the 16 was when we came. If we had, let's say, instead of Leicester, we won that league, people like Giroud and Ozil, they wouldn't be laughed upon, I don't think, as suggestions, because I just think that because that didn't win the league, it doesn't feel as, like you can put them in as much. But even like an Aubameyang, for example, he came at if he was part of a team that won the league and scored 23 goals in the season, it's straight away. But when you finish 8th and score 23, it's not the same, is it? So.
I say the same thing. There's so many players that played in a lot of really good Arsenal teams. We didn't talk about Eduardo. We didn't talk about Hleb. We didn't talk about Rosicky. We didn't, Santi Cazorla was lucky to make that list, to be honest. Yeah. And so, yeah, I think, and I say this all the time, and Ryan, this is going to get me all sorts of in trouble because I'm that Arsenal fan. I think from 2014 to 2016, we had one of the best midfields in the world in Premier League. When we had Santi Cazorla, Ozil, and Ramsey, we should have won leagues with that midfield.
Yeah, I agree with you. And another one I'll throw out there, Aston, is the 07-08. Man, that was incredible to watch. That was so good. Hleb, Rosicky, Flamini, and Fabregas with Adebayor and Van Persie. Eduardo could come in. Theo came in now and again. Diaby kind of came in on this left mid. We played 4-4-2, so Diaby played left mid quite a bit, and he was crazy in some of those games.
Even like you were saying there, when you look at the amount of players that their reputation was even impacted just by substantial injuries. You mentioned Hector Bellerin. One that I thought, I remember the in the window that we signed him, he actually looked like the best signing was, you can laugh, but Debussy. He looked amazing in his first few games that he had signed, and then that injury obviously knocked him back. You mentioned Diaby, who I think if you could, get a genie to come out of a bottle and grant you a wish, a lot of players would say to keep him fit for the majority of his career, because he looked an absolute player when he was fit and on form. Eduardo as well. It's crazy to think that the amount of Wilshere.
Wilshere didn't even get in there, and those are the when you sit down and you think about it, there were about three maybe 3 teams that got hit with injury where you're just like, damn, if you didn't get that injury, that was the league. Whether it was the Eduardo year when he broke his leg, or I think the year that we didn't win it with when Leicester won it, I think Ramsey got hurt or Arteta got hurt. I forget which one of them it was, or was it Cazorla? One of those guys got hurt. And it's like, man, we were always just short. I hope we fix it. Declan Rice looks like he's not very breakable. You know what I mean? I really hope that we get like more.
Why would you put that out there?
Huh?
Why would you dare the gods to take him from us?
Oh yeah, I forgot you believe in jinxes. I'm cursing the club right now.
But do you think?
By the way, as properly brought up in the chat, for some reason, I picked Olivier Giroud over Super Kevin Campbell. He's going to be on in 8 hours or so. Please, just nobody tell him, please. Okay, this didn't happen. Okay.
I was going to say, as well, Owen. When you picked Reyes, and I remember against Middlesbrough being in the game we won 5-3, but Reyes scored. It was 3-3, and it was 3-2 to Middlesbrough, right? And we just scored to make it 3-3, and then a minute later, Reyes scored a goal where he cut in from his left and scored from his right. For me personally, that was the loudest I had heard Highbury as a kid. That it was a crazy atmosphere.
Can I ask you guys a question? Because you guys have seen so much of Arsenal, and I feel like I'm always getting an education. So, like, we talk about a lot of players. I want to talk about, like, specific attributes. Like, who's the best dribbler you think you've ever seen at the club?
That for me, there's 2, and they're different styles over the course of a distance where he can be at full flow. Thierry Henry, and it wasn't. So it was just the pace. I remember watching him play, and against world-class defenders, he made them look like a man playing against children. To have someone with that speed, skill, and yet strength was amazing. But in tight pockets, Alexis Sanchez, I think, was probably the best dribbler as well that I've seen in terms of explosive pace, getting around players. Yeah, what do you reckon, Ryan?
Yeah, no, I'm seeing a few Haleb shouts in the chat, which in the one again in the tight areas one. Definitely, he'd have been one. I think Haleb would have been one like people now would go nuts about him. The little comps you get now, the little 1 minute comps after a game where it doesn't necessarily lead to, and it doesn't give you an assist or a goal, but it gives you like a pre-assist or something. Or Haleb did so many of those, like in that 07-08 season. He was crazy. But I think one of those that led to a few goals, I would say again, Nasri, in terms of the dribbling.
Nasri was good. You know who I think
like the little the hips and this go on to the left foot as well and the right. He was really good at that.
I think the one I would say he's the best at the club right now, Trossard. I mean, he's amazing in small spaces. His close control is fantastic. I think it's. But he doesn't have the length of doing it that way. So we got the 4 teams. Let's put them up here because our next guest is going to be joining us in about 5 minutes or so. So your job in the chat is to vote for the team that you think, based on your own qualities, is the team that you would want to have if you had to bet on one of these teams. So we start with Aston. Aston's team: Seaman, Zinchenko, Saliba, Koscielny, Sanya, Ljungberg, Gilberto, Ramsey, Arshavin, RVP, Abba, and Arteta as the manager. So burn that into your memories, because I cannot keep that up while I put the other ones up, and stop putting comments up because it brings these things down. So that is Aston's team. Then we have Mike's team: Lehman, Ashley Cole, David O'Leary, Steve Bold, Dixon, Merson, Parler, Rocastle, Saka, Henry, Giroud, and the manager George Graham. Definitely went with a heavy 80s, 90s vibe on this one. All right, that's mine. Ryan's team: Ramsdale, Notch, Tony Adams, Gabriel, Laurent, Nasri, Xhaka, Vieira, Pires, Bergkamp, Alan Smith, and manager Herb Chapman, who revolutionized the game. Or so we all hear. And Owens: Lukic in goal, Winterburn, Saul Campbell, Colo Torre, Ben White, Marin Telly, who is a cousin of Martinelli, Cazorla, Cesc, Alexis, Ian Wright, Reyes, and manager Arsene Wenger. All right, let's see what the chat thinks here for the absolutely valueless prize. Who do we have oh, yeah, that's what I should have done. I should have put them in chat. That would have been better because then they stay up there. So let me do that.
I think any answer but Ryan's is wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, we do have one guest and 3 Gooners pod guys in here, so I think that might have to be how it works. But hold on.
Oh, getting some love.
The vote. It's not. It doesn't equate to love. I mean, I know.
No, it's love. It is actually love. This is our entire self-worth in this vote.
Yes, we got Aston, Mike, Ryan, and Owen, and we'll leave those up there while we do the charity draw, and then we'll come right back to that at the very end, and then we'll ask our next guest to pick his pick, and no matter what the chat says, I think we'll just go with his. He's better than you, and
because you peasants are worthless.
Yeah. All right. So here are the 4 teams. They're in the chat. Think about it. Take a look. Who's who you think it should win that one. We will now bring in our next guest for the 1 a.m. hour UK time. Elliot, aka Yankee Gunner. Thank you for joining us, for staying up in the middle of the night, even though it's only 7 o'clock.
No, I live on UK time, so I am up in the middle of the night, and I made this sacrifice for you and for the fundraiser.
And I know it, and I appreciate it, and it means the world to me. All right, so
not all heroes wear capes, guys.
That's true. So this is a Ruth Beck art prize drawing. So if you weren't with us before to sample some of Ruth's work, you will win an A3, which is a nice big size print of your choice. We'll have a lot of different options. We got the final game at Highbury here. We've got a view of the East End. We've got a ton of different options for you. So we'll kind of talk to you about which ones that you want. But you will win that if you come up next. And the winner of the Ruth Beck art is Liam Smith. All right, Liam. Liam from Madison, Wisconsin. I don't even need to look at my list because I know Liam. Top guy. Irish, Owen. I'll have you know. So we're doing right by your people, and that's the hour.
Offensive.
We got to get out the 4 questions. Elliot, it's not Passover, but we're doing the 4 questions. So we're going to ask Ryan really quick before we move on. Your top 6, your Ballon d'Or winner, your first manager sacked, and something out of left field that you wouldn't expect to happen this year that you think will happen in world football.
Okay, so top 6. I'll say I said we're gonna win the league, so I can't change now.
Come on.
Yeah. So I'll go for us first. Man City, I think, will be second.
Doesn't have to be in order, by the way.
Oh, forget that then. Liverpool. I think Spurs, annoyingly, are going to be top 6 without Europe this year. I do. Spurs, Chelsea, I think will get in there. Not Champions League personally, just below. And then Man U. Yeah, I'm gonna say the same. I don't think like Henry. I don't think Newcastle will do it this year.
Yeah, there's 5 slots for the Champions League this season for the first time. So somebody will get in that doesn't deserve it. I'm waiting for the first person to do a top 6 without City. I mean, that would be pretty funny. First manager to get sacked. And will it be right before we play them?
You know what? I think it could be might be recency bias, but I think it could be Eddie Howe.
Okay. Yeah. You're not the first person to go there.
Yeah.
All right. The Ballon d'Or winner next month, I believe, or the month after, whenever that is.
Is this who I think should win, or
no? This is who you think will win. But you're free to tell us who you think
okay.
should.
I think Haaland will win it, but I think, but if it was me, I think the Ballon d'Or is about personality, like the story, and for me, it's Messi, the story. So yeah,
I get the sense that that's how people vote, though. They vote on the romanticism.
So it could be Messi. You're right, for sure.
And then the kind of wacky prediction of something that you wouldn't have expected to happen that you think will happen in world football by the end of this season.
I think I'm gonna go. My wacky prediction is gonna be. I think it will go. I'll go for England to win the Euros. I think will be.
Okay.
Maybe it might not be that wacky.
Coming home, Owen. It's coming home, baby. You're gonna get that tattoo. It's just 4 years later than we thought it was gonna be.
A few people are a bit like negative now after. But I think we'll come through with the players. Maybe
and you think Southgate will still be there to do it?
I think he will actually, and not because I think he's a great manager, but I just think we've done quite well in tournaments before with him. So
beautiful.
Yeah, that's what I'll go for.
All right, I'm hearing Novak Djokovic has just won the U.S. Open. So I mean, speaking of goats, good for him. All right, so Ryan, tell us where we can find you. Not like literally, but
yeah, you can find me on Twitter, but I'm not really a tweeter guy. I'm kind of off.
Oh, is there a 7 at the end?
I think there's a 7 at the end.
There's
I'm not really like a interesting person.
It's fine. We'll just post your telephone number in the comments.
I was going to say, well, we can find you next week right here on the TGP podcast. Am I right?
I would love to come on more for sure.
Yeah. We got to get back to doing that. Look, Aston has the ability to contact you and put you on. Just because I'm not running the show doesn't mean But look, honestly, you've been a great friend to us over the years. It's really been a kick to get to know you and your family, and I really do hope that when we come over next month, we'll have a chance to, and it doesn't have to be. In fact, I would prefer that it not be, game day at the Tollington. But it's always great spending time with you, mate.
Thank you.
I appreciate you, and thanks for joining us for this hour. I didn't think we'd get through that whole thing in the hour, but we did. So
yeah, no, it's a good fun, and of course, what you're doing it goes without saying. So yeah, really enjoy.
Thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. So we'll say goodbye to Ryan now, and we will start hour number 8.
Yeah.
Cheers, Ryan.
Okay, guys.
Right,
good
cheers,
luck
man.
for the rest
Take care.
of the day.
Hey Gooners, this is Alan Smith.
This is Kevin Campbell.
Lee Dixon.
Colin Lewin.
It's Gary Lewin.
Charles Watts.
Dan Potts. James Benge.
Danny.
Tom from the Gooner Talk here.
Ryan Rocastle.
Simon Collins, you may know me from the Evening Standard.
You may know me for my time at Arsenal.
You may know me from Arsenal or even the hybrid squad.
Cat Wonderland.
Being that physio sat on the bench next to Arsenal with my rubber gloves on.
The former Arsenal physio.
The Emirates press box, from writing, from Twitter.
From goal.com, from Twitter, from YouTube.
Football is the beautiful game, and it brings us all together.
Sometimes there are things even more important than wins and losses.
And yes, even transfers.
Every 30 seconds, someone in this world gets diagnosed with blood cancer.
The Leukemia and Lymphoma Society works towards curing blood cancers
and provides support to families currently dealing with these diseases.
Gooners vs Cancer was started in 2017
by a lifelong Gooner who lost his father to leukemia way too young.
Since 2017, Gooners v Cancer has raised
over $75,000 for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
And we need your help to keep the fundraising going in this year's campaign.
Every donation helps.
Every donation helps.
Every donation helps.
Every donation helps.
No matter the size.
And every donation enters you into the Gooner raffle,
where you have a great chance to win amazing Arsenal prizes,
including game tickets, stadium tours,
signed men and women shirts,
and maybe a retro signed shirt by yours truly, Lee Dixon.
Me, yours truly.
Yours truly, Super Kev Campbell.
So much more.
It's easy to take part.
just go to www.goonersvcancer.com
and donate directly to the charity.
Pick the raffle prizes you want to enter to win.
And wait for the drawings at the end of the campaign.
Again, that's www.goonersversuscancer.com.
We all know that victory grows out of harmony.
Victory grows out of harmony.
Victory grows out of harmony.
With your help, we'll be victorious against blood cancer once and for all.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you for your support.
Thanks for your support.
Thanks for your support.
Thank you for your support.